Fuck me. God damn it. You know, when you start out by saying fuck me, it's a good day. You know it's going to be a good day when you start out by swearing. I didn't blaspheme, I just simply swore. Okay, so upcoming events. One of the things I want to do perhaps this weekend is I'm going to have a live conversation with Jonathan, who I met at the Philadelphia Pen Show, who likes to draw. And he is going to, we'll draw together and maybe talk about the kinds of pens he likes to draw with and the kinds that I like to draw with. I think it'll be interesting to many people. He likes pens that are the ones he remembers from his youth, which is essentially what I remember from my youth, except I look backwards from my youth to earlier pens, and he looks sort of forwards from the pens he had his youth to the modern pens. So he uses modern pens, where I use vintage ones. And we can discuss maybe what the differences are between them. I think our drawing styles are also quite different, or they can be quite different. I think I'm more of a chameleon in terms of my drawing style than he is. I tend to wear lots of different kinds of berets, where he, I think, sort of sticks to the one that is natural to him. All of that's great. I wish in many cases I was less schizophrenic in my styles than he is. Another thing that I'm going to do, I'm just wondering how jiggly, this isn't too jiggly, this new system I have here. There's another friend that I've known for many, many years, the man that used to run the Boston Pen Show with me, and then he ran it for a few years without me. I helped him, but I didn't take a financial risk of putting on the show. And now he lives in Asheville, North Carolina, most of the time. And he loves pens from this company. And what are these, you ask? These are Moores. And Moores were a Boston-made company. This doesn't belong here. What's this doing here? Bad pen. I think the rest are Moores. Moores were made in Boston from the teens into the 40s, I think. I don't know whether they went into the 50s. These are a selection of the pens I have. They go from the hard rubber era, which, hello everyone, the hard rubber era, which I think he likes best, into the plastic era, and then into the sort of last gasp they were doing, which included their version of the Parker 51, which was called the Moore Fingertip, which has to be one of the coolest looking and poorest performing pens ever made. This is what it looked like. It had this brushed steel rather, sort of hood with this inlaid nib, which evidently was supposed to be kind of like your fingernail. And it had string holding everything. It's an awful, awful, awful pen. But I kind of like it because of its futuristic look. I'm trying to find the all plastic version. Here we go. Look, 875 medium. This is what the all plastic version looked like. And it had a cool clip, but the clips often are cracked up here. The points don't work. It's kind of a nightmare of a pen, but I like the way it looks. But Rob Morrison, the person I'm going to speak with, particularly likes this era of Moore. And one of the things he likes about it, or among the things he likes about it, see if I can find an example. Okay, this is a good example. I should probably keep these out for when he talks. I might be giving too much of this away, but what he likes about these pens is the long section it has, the overly long sections. The pens are very, very elegant, very long, very slender. I think they're probably the longest pen when you post it and put it down next to another pen. I think they're longer than a Wahl Eversharp or a Parker. So they're sort of interestingly balanced. They have this elegance to them that is really quite lovely. But another weird thing about them, and I've always found it weird, but Rob likes it, is, I don't know if you can see, but the nib, rather than coming straight out, it sort of is bent downward. And I don't know how they do it. The feet is bent downward, the nib is bent downward, so it's sort of like it sort of hits the page a little bit differently than you expect it to, and he really likes that. And it might be because he's a lefty. He writes, he's a pusher, not a hooker, so he writes like this rather than like this, and maybe it just fits nicely the way his hand hits the paper. I'm reminded of the Concorde jetliner whose nose would tilt down when they were landing, and it would tilt back up again when they were going fast. It sort of reminds me of that, or an anteater sort of nose. But anyway, he loves these pens, and I'm going to find out why. Or rather share with you why. I think he's told me why, but I probably forgot most of the reasons. So I will have a selection of these things that I will keep out to be ready for that conversation. One of my favorite pens that I own that's a Moore is this one, which is a Tuscan. This was they made two pens in the 20s. One was called the Luxor. And where's that? Where's my Luxor when I want it? I'll show you next time. Anyway, the Luxor was called the Luxor. It had a green, jade green insert on the cap and two little gold bands on either side of it. And it was named, it came out the year that King Tut's tomb was discovered, and archaeology was the big thing. And the Tuscan was named, for the Tuscan hills in Italy, I presume, and the color is sort of that look. And so I think they were into the archaeology kind of thing. But look at the cool part of this thing. You can unscrew the top, and all of these parts are separate. They all come out. and then it rolls under the table and you lose it, and then you're screwed. So I'm just going to put it all back together again. So really a sweet looking pen, and it's too long to fit on the camera. I have to do it sideways. So anyway, that's what's coming up there. Another thing that's upcoming event is a dry run, milk run, I guess they call it, of a little seminar that I want to give in Philadelphia as a way, as a seminar that people would maybe pay for or maybe not pay for. I don't know whether I'll charge, or maybe the Philly Pen Show will require me to charge tickets, but it'll be a way of augmenting or adjusting or experiencing handwriting different from your natural handwriting. So I'm going to give certain exercises to the participants so that they can sort of imitate, not necessarily what I'm doing or copying what I'm doing, but dig deep into their psyche and imagine how they would write if they weren't them, if they were someone else, a loud, obnoxious, Don Rickles-like comedian. They would write loud and obnoxiously, or a mild-mannered librarian, spinster woman librarian. How would she write? So it's a way of course, a handwriting analysis person would probably say, well, the way you cross your T's in all of the examples you did is exactly how you cross your T's when you're writing in your own handwriting. I'm not trying to teach these people how to be forgers, but I'm trying to think that by writing in a different style, writing with a pen that maybe is outside your comfort zone, writing with a really fine nib or a really broad nib when you're used to writing with a medium one, that might enlarge your view of how you write and what you write. So it's just a different way to appreciate using a pen, I think, and writing writing in general. So Kim mentioned I can't even write when I don't have to imagine that you're doing something. Well, try to imagine. Do it right now, Kim. Get a pen, put it on paper, and pretend you're a very calm, your job is writing those rather saccharine sweet Hallmark birthday card. You probably don't have Hallmark in Denmark, but Hallmark birthday cards, where you go to the Hallmark section of birthday cards and it's just one spoonful of sugar on top of another. Oh, we love you so much, Grandma. Every day is Grandma's day, or whatever they'd say. Just awful stuff. And you would write very lightly maybe and make really round letters, and maybe that's how you would write that. Now there's no right answer in any of the this particular exercise I want to give. No one's doing it right, but the idea is at the end of the day, when you're done with the hour-long class or whatever it's going to be, you'll say, gee, it was really fun writing vertically. Maybe that's the only thing you'll get out. Rather than writing with a slant, you write up and down. Maybe that's what you'll go home with, and you'll try writing with that, and it'll last for 3 or 4 days before you forget about everything. Yeah, I think it might be fun, and I think it'll be more fun when I'm dealing with more people than just three. But I don't think I can put more than three on this screen. So and have it work well. But I think in a room full of people, if there were 20 people or 15 people in the room, I think it would be fun. So um, we'll we'll see how that works. Um, and I think I'd love to do another drawing session with my friend uh, Russell Facemeyer. I don't connect with him as much as I used to because we used to be on Instagram together and we would send each other artwork we did or things we found interesting. And he's sort of escaped that um, meta thing. So it involves writing emails. And to me, emailing is a step toward more, uh, it becomes more important if it's in an email. And nothing I say is ever important. So emailing is sort of what I don't do very well for a social point of reason. I do it for business all the time, but I don't do it for social things. Um, so Atomic, are you still in the room, or Kim, are you in the room? Does anyone want to join me live? Another person I want to draw with is Cedar Bylard, who is a Californian artist and pen collector friend of mine who um, uh, who I was planning on seeing this next month at the LA Pen Show, but I'm not going to go. I just I don't have the time to do that. I see why this is here. This is an Eversharp barrel and a Parker cap, and why it was in the more drawer I do not know. Great stream yesterday. So who was complaining about my jiggly? This is better than it was. Before it was, like that. But now this one is a little better. There's a little bit of jiggle, but I can see that it's a lot better. So I'm gonna invite people. If someone wants to come in, they can. Oh, good. I'm glad it's working better. I'm trying to see if I have any pens I can draw with here. I didn't manage to bring the ones over that are filled with ink. Here's a little. I'm trying to get the section out of this one. I'll be applying heat later today or tomorrow to get this open. It's really tight. And sometimes when you buy an old pen, you don't know if it's going to come apart easily. Someone in 1920 could have glued this inside of that. You don't know. You don't have that ability to. I'm assuming that isn't the case. It might just be shellacked in. So I'm going to heat up the barrel, heat up this part of the pen, and usually the barrel will expand a little bit and allow me to pull it out. Oh, good. Well, I'm glad. Hey, Scott Jones. Are you still here, Scott Jones? Scott Jones is an extremely talented artist, and do you want to join me? We can do a little drawing together. Scott Jones's drawings. Let's see if I can make this sound both accurate and without being insulting. I think I can do it. You've got to make the donuts. Well, Scott Jones, his drawings are as precise and organized as his waxed mustache. He has this beautiful waxed mustache. It's like he gets out the calipers and measures exactly that each side of the curl are identical. One isn't bigger, and it's all perfectly balanced. And his drawings look like they have the same precision to them. Even things that he draws that look like it's a scribble, they're very exact. They're beautifully graceful. He'll make a line that again is like his mustache. They almost look like they were measured perfectly. Where when I do scribbles, I have no idea where this line is going to end. It may end here or may end there. I don't care. It doesn't make any difference to me. But Scott's drawings are extremely thought out. Is that correct, Scott Jones? Thought out and planned out. Not maybe to the degree that there's a slight doodle quality to it, where you see him in his drawings maybe fills in certain elements or decides to crosshatch this and crosshatch that. There's a certain freeness and doodleness about it that I think it's like when I was doing this thing yesterday. I drew this pineapple, crazy, goofy, and then I decided to fill in these little squares in a checkerboard pattern. And it seems like in Scott's drawings, when he gets done with the drawing, he then maybe turns some of his brain off, maybe, and then just sort of doodles. Not absent-mindedly, but almost absent-mindedly. Now, maybe that's not true. Now, Scott Jones and our drawings are very dissimilar. His are here, mine are way over here. And there's a little bit of Venn diagram. We love flexible lines. We love using ink pens. We're a little playful in our subject matter sometimes, but well, thank you. Yeah, the stuff I did for pen shows in the past was I was very accurate, or tried to be accurate, and the drawings I did for Pen World were meant to look like they were done by this guy who could draw well, but my drawings now are a little bit more sketchy. I have to, in the work I do for business, I have to be much tidier than what I do for sketching. And so I move over, the overlap sometimes is over more toward Scott's side of the fence than my side. And I think Jonathan, who's going to draw with me this weekend, his drawings are a little bit left of me even. He's more action painter, action painting like. I think that was Charles Dana Gibson. This isn't Charles, but it's Charles Dana Gibson like. So Scott, I don't know if I'll try to make this very fast. There's a famous artist by the name of Montgomery Flagg. He did the I Want You for the U.S. Army poster, World War I era. James Montgomery Flagg, I think his name was. And a friend of mine, a pen collector friend of mine in New York City, has an original drawing above his couch by Flagg. And it's maybe 2 feet tall, 3 feet tall maybe. And it shows a guy a guy sitting on a chair, I think, leaning over, talking to a dame over here. And he has a big long coat, like, so this part of the coat is a foot long, foot tall. And he takes his dip pen, he puts it in the India ink, he starts here, goes down here in this curve, and he makes another one next to it, and it's exactly the same. The third one, exactly the same. His arm had this memory. He could see, he could make exactly the same line over and over and over again. And it's just, it's astounding to look at. I couldn't believe it. And also, you know, I look at the drawings he did for newspapers and books and stuff, and I imagine them to be small, but they're huge. They're much larger than I would have guessed them to be, which makes them all seem all the more, you know, when you're drawing like this, moving your fingers, you know, you can make a bunch of lines that are parallel. When you're drawing using your entire arm, that's a little harder to do. And James Montgomery Flagg was able to do it really, really well. I keep wanting to drink my coffee, but it's ink, as you can see, so put it back to keep my mouth not full of ink. This is a sturdy little pen. Yeah, Charles Dana Gibson, Lydecker certainly was, but I don't know whether he did any pen and ink drawings. He made all those paintings, but I don't know whether he did a lot of pen and ink work. Winsor McCay is another maestro of pen and ink. Winsor McCay, the cartoonist. Just astounding. Pete Beard. I'll try to remember that. I can't look at it here because I'm using my device to do that. Oh, yeah, I might know that one where he finds an illustrator and gives a little half-hour bio pick sort of thing. Pete Beard. I watched him or someone like that, and it was really fascinating. There were people I had never heard of either, and they're not all Americans. They were, you know, children's book illustrations and advertising. Actually, there's a book I should try to find for you, Scott. It's a hardcover book that is about so big, and it was sort of the yellow pages for artists that were able to be hired by people in New York to do renderings, and they all had their speciality. Some were great with hands, some were, you know, house architectural drawings, hands, figures, dancers, and you would hire, you know, this particular artist for this particular use. It's really, 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 really cool. The images are just amazing. The ones that they chose to show, if there was an image to it. Most of them did have images, but some were just names and phone numbers for the artists that could draw feet. Yeah, stressful. I listened to last night. I listened to there's a guy I like listening to called Astrom, and he speaks of astronomy, astronomy, this kind of star, that kind of planet, this kind of spaceship that, landed on Mars. And he has a very calming voice. I love listening to him. And the ones that I hate listening to fall asleep are the ones that have the big whooshy things where they go from one scene to the other. And that just wakes me up. And that's not what I'm watching this for. Maybe it's supposed to keep the people that want to watch the show awake. But I use them to help me fall asleep. But the one about the artists, I think I would probably stay up too much, and try to look at the pictures. But anyway, no one wants to join me. So Scott Jones, would you like to join me sometime live, face to face, and we can draw or pad to pad? I guess we'd have the camera looking down, and we can talk about drawing and talk about pens as we draw. Would that be something you'd like to do? We can schedule that sometime. Most of Scott's drawings are, great. Most of Scott's drawings have a fantastical quality to it. I think you can have me say they're not realistic drawings in the sense of going out and drawing a scene. They usually involve a figure, and the figure might be almost entirely human. Sometimes the figure is not human fully. I'm trying to figure out how I would describe them, and the drawings often have a complete story within the one drawing, and you might not understand what the story is trying to tell you, but they're quite fun. Let me just see if I can stand up and find. I know where the book is. Damn it. I found the book. Not only was it where I thought it was, it in fact was where I thought it was. Flippity floppity floop. So, and each day he does a drawing. So this is May 3rd and 4th. There's 2 drawings on this page. So let's just find one that has 1 drawing on a page. There's May 31st, 2022. So here's I almost thought it was the guy holding the duck let loose a rather lethal fart, but I see that that's coming from the duck. So the duck is saying this, or exhaling this. There are these, see, here's sort of a vaguely human wearing uh, with heads as hands and feet. And evidently, what story am I going to come up with this one? It's like this guy requires 4 extra pairs of eyes and a brain to navigate the world. They all look a little bit, these two look a little tad bit frightened, maybe, or paranoid. So what are you thinking about Scott Jones when what drugs are you on, Scott Jones? So this light bulb here is tungsten bulb. God, you Scott Jones, I've looked at this drawing sort of in passing, at the pictures, and sort of just delighted them, but I've never studied them to the degree that I'm doing right here. No drugs. Okay, no drugs. I was joking, but I'm glad that you pointed that out. But your imagination is all over the place. My friend Cedar Bylard also creates cartoony humanoids like this. I think you've met him, and I think he has seen your books. I think he likes them. But Cedar Bylard is a person who really enjoys sort of taking a human and twerking it. Today is that day that you're on fire. So, but what fun these are. Now, I suspect this is the only book I have of yours, but I suspect that in your swan overfeed. See, sometimes he draws the pen he's using. I suspect that on this. Oh, look at that! On this particular year, when he's doing these drawings, maybe you did more of this kind of hatching, where maybe 2 years earlier you didn't do that as much. Do you see a lot of evolution in the drawings you do through the course of the work you do? I suppose you must. Yeah, I think he will show up. Again, I'm not going to, just because Cedar has to take time off to host me, and I would love to go sometime, maybe when there isn't a pen show, maybe when it's a little bit warmer, and where we can hike around and do a lot of drawings outside. We took a little road trip, and we got out here, there, and did drawings of the landscape, and that was really, really fun. And I'd like to do that. Also, in LA itself, last year there were 2 people I stayed with. I'm sure I could stay with Otto again this year, but I also stayed with another artist friend, and he's back in Finland now, so I can't stay with him. But I think maybe a time when it's a little warmer, that'll be more fun. But Scott, it would be fun to, well, I hope 14 more years. Now, Scott, do you make these books for a living, or what do you do for actual money? if I can ask that. I think I probably did once upon a time, but I can't remember. Do you do illustrations for a job? Or do you teach? Or, I know you live in New York City, I think. And so are you able to make a living selling your books? And selling pens? Or, and again, you don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell the world. You don't even have to tell me, but I just was thinking that teaching. Okay. Well, you'd be a great teacher, I think. One of my favorite teachers from college had a handlebar mustache, not unlike yours. He taught U.S. history. But a handlebar mustache does not a teacher make. But, oh, I'm great. I'm so happy. Now, you also have a spouse who, does she include lucre into the bill paying thing, I imagine? It would be fun to do challenge drawings. Oh, good. So it'd be fun to do challenge drawings with you, which is what my book was about, giving myself a challenge drawing and coming up with a way to respond. That might be a fun thing to do with each other. And maybe you can, whatever prompts you to draw this on one day and that on another. I don't know if there's I'm going to do a cartoon of a man talking to himself or a man making a decision. I don't know what you think about before you draw it, but you must probably think of something. I want to do something with these pages that I scribble on. I want to turn that into something. There we go. I've decided to turn it into this. Audience, what am I drawing? Anyone guess what I'm drawing? We have to make this better. Here's a clue. See that little thing there? That's a clue. I'll add some stuff here. It's Pompeii being destroyed by Mount Vesuvius. There's the lava coming down and killing everyone. Ta-da! Add to shopping cart. 1 million lira. 1 milione lire. Click button to add to shopping cart. I don't know that movie by Werner Herzog, but no, it's Mount Vesuvius. I had some other really fun things I would do. I would take these California paint swatches, and this color 0929 was called Yellow Bonnet. So what did I draw? I drew a yellow bonnet. This was called White Bud. Oh, I guess that's a bud of a plant. Oh, it's a unopened rose or something. Satin slipper. So there are little slippers. Pink duet. So there's Ang and Chang, the original Siamese twins, attached at the liver, I think, singing a duet. Lady Flower. There she is with her big boobs. Can I say boobs on TV? Village Crier. There he is, crying. So these things are kind of fun. Fossil Tan. So there's the Archaeopteryx. Anyway, this is what I do instead of working. So who was here that it was a dame earlier up who how do I go back? Teresa, would you like to join me? Or Scraff or anyone? Anyone want to join me? Let me know and I'll add you to click on that link and you'll be invited in. There's more scribbles in this book. Oh, Scott, will you be here for another 5 minutes? I'll add you to my dinner, or anyone. If anyone hasn't played this game, it's another fun game I play with my viewers. It's the dinner party game. Pajamas? I could be naked and you wouldn't know. I'm not naked. You can keep your mind out of the gutter. So this is a guest book that someone gave me that has all this fun, different kind of handwriting, which is why I like handwriting. This is why I want to do my little handwriting test. You know, looking at any one of these things and trying to copy it would be a lot of fun. But anyway, so there was a lot of empty pages in this book. So I've decided to do a dinner party, and I ask each of you who want to play, what people who would you invite to a dinner party? And they could be living or dead. And language, everyone speaks the same language. Everyone knows the same language. So you could invite Bismarck or Beethoven to your dinner party, and you can understand what they're saying and they understand you. So this person, Nomad Wanderer, that was his name on the screen. I don't know what his real name is, but he was Nomad Wanderer was his name. So Nomad, Jesus, Buddha, Lincoln, Alexander the Great, Einstein, Napoleon I, and Sir Edmund Hillary. Why he wanted those people there, I don't know. But it's a fun little thing. So who wants to play this game with me? Who wants to be next? Scraff, do you want to play? Okay, Scraff it is. So you can invite 6 total or 8 total, and you have to be one of the 6 or 8. So Scraff, K-R-A-F. So Scraff. So Scraff is first. C-R-A-F. S-K-R-A-F is 1. Who else would you invite? You invite 5 more people. And Teresa, you're next. So you think. They can be living or dead. They should be real people rather than fictional people, though I may change the rules. Günter Wagner. Oh, okay. U-N-T-E-R Wagner of Pelican. I was thinking it was one of Richard Wagner's children, but I think there was a Günter Wagner. But Per Gustafsson. Per. Okay. So I see a connection amongst the people you're inviting. Wendy Sue. Hello, Wendy Sue. We met in Philly. Good. Okay. Pen people, yes. So what other pen people are you going to invite? Walter Schaefer or Ellie Waterman or other pen collectors? We need music. Okay. What kind of musician? You want Richard Wagner there? Okay. Richard Wagner. Okay. Put me next to him. I have a couple of questions to ask him. No, I would be too intimidated. I love Wagner's operas, but I know he was a kind of a jerk. You're halfway there, or you're 2 more, or if you want to have 8, you can bring 8. Usually when I get to this point with someone, I'll say, well, think about what you know about the person. Maybe do we need another musician to keep Richard company? And do you want to have a fight at the table, a debate at the table? So invite someone that you think he would hate. Wendy Sue, you're Craig Schaefer. Oh, Craig. Craig Schaefer. So we got you and me, 2 pen people. Seems to me we should have one more. We've got 2 manufacturers. We have 2 pen users, and we have 1 musician. I think Richard would be all by himself. Yeah, Craig also made pens under his own name. They were the Craig pen. I don't know if that's the one you're talking about. So Wendy will be you're up next. Yeah, the Craig pen. Really, there isn't such a thing. Now he might have is your pen a WASP pen? W-A-S-P? No, that's William A. Schaefer Pen Company. It could be some. It could be. What were the other Schaefer brands? Anyway, Junior. Oh, the Junior. Okay. I don't know if that was specifically made with his son in mind, but or that he made it. But again, I don't know much. My pen history is not very good. So one more person, and it can be anyone, living or dead, musician or okay. Cool. What I wonder what was patented about that pen. What was new other than the name? Because the name Junior was used by Parker years earlier. He's also a musician. Oh, Franz Lehar. Okay. Franz Lehar. I imagine that they would argue a lot if Richard Wagner knew Lehar's music. I mean, Richard Wagner was such a I don't know, so goddamn serious. Okay, so Wendy, is it your turn? And Wendy, would you like to join me live, side by side? I'd have to listen up on some Franz Lehar music. Okay. Was he the one that wrote the Inchworm? Gulwurmchen, Gulwurmchen, flimmer, flimmer, Gulwurmchen, Gulwurmchen, shimmer, shimmer, etc. Is that it? Oh, you're in bed. Okay, Wendy Sue, who do you want to invite to the party? Oops, I spelled your name wrong. Okay, who would you like? The Merry Widow? Yeah, the glowworm is from Lysistrata is the name of the opera. Me? So, okay, it's Wendy and Pierre. I met a lot of people in Philly, so I must admit that I can't, shamefully, I must admit, I can't remember which one you are, but, oh, I did not know you're an opera singer. Did I know that? What operas do you like singing? The first night, oh yes. Okay, when I got drunk, I fell down trying to leave the hotel, landed right on my ass. But I had a lot of fun. Oh, okay. So anyway, Wendy and Pierre. Okay, who else is going to be invited? God. Were you the one that reminded me the next day? You wondered if I was still alive? Was that you? I won't forget you, Teresa. We'll add you next. You keep thinking. Oh, well, I will look at your recap video. So what is your channel? Is it Wendy Sue? Must be. Wendy Sue. Oh, YouTube. I need to take my own handwriting class next year so I learn how to write better. Okay, Beethoven. Oh, that's your YouTube at Fountain Pen News. I'll find you. Chopin, okay. Luckily, I know all of these to a degree. I know you at least. Never met them. But so we've got two more people. And my suggestion would be have a couple of the other non-musicians that I might be able to talk with. Oh, you want Beethoven and Chopin to play? Oh dear. There was someone that I played this game to, and they invited Smokey Daniels and Melania and Mrs. Trump, Mrs. Clinton, and what's her name with the dress? What's her name? Anyway, just to watch the food fight. So Chopin and Harrison Ford. Okay. Harrison Ford. So an actor. I think I probably saw one of his movies. How about Charlie Chaplin? He wrote a very lovely song. Oh, Jesus could drop by. Okay. Smile. Then you need an artist. That's the song that Charlie Chaplin wrote. So we've got one actor. I think maybe another actor that can do lots of things would be an artist. Turner or Constable. Okay, let's. I would throw Turner in. That would be my suggestion. Turner. Oh, you said I was thinking. Okay, so we've got Wendy, Pierre, Beethoven, Chopin, Harrison Ford, and Turner. You can make it 8. Oh, you don't know Turner. Who said Turner? Someone said Turner. Turner, he was a romantic British artist who did mainly seascapes, landscapes and seascapes. His paintings had humongous titles, really long titles. I'm going to cross Turner up because that was not Wendy's thought. So Wendy, let's go to one that you like. Josh Gates. I don't know who that is, so that'll be fine. Josh Gates. He's kind of an actor. Okay. Okay. Who's next? Teresa. How do you spell Teresa? With a TH or a TR? Teresa. Oh, neat. Well, that'll be a fun party. That would be a fun party. Teresa. Oops. This paper is really, really shitty. T-E-R. T-E-R-E-S-A. Harris. Okay. Oh my God. Travel by books. So I have a question to ask you about that. You write travel books? Good. Tolkien. Hemingway. Okay, we're getting into, I sense a trend. on your Teresa. Hemingway. I collect old Baedeker guides, which were printed in the late 1800s into, well, they're still printed today, but the ones I like are older. J. Christoph, I don't know who that is, so J. Christoph. Another author, J.K. Rowling. Okay, it's going to be I don't know all of their political views, but I know that person's rather conservative. Hemingway, I don't know what he was. So you've got girl, boy, boy, girl, boy, boy, girl. I suppose Jay's Ramses. That's interesting. Ramses the Second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can stop there, or you can add 2 more. We had Ramses on. Someone else wanted Ramses. Oh my God! Someone wanted Elon Musk. Benjamin. There were 2 other people that were watching me that we never wrote down. Gunter Wagner. Look, there's another Gunter Wagner. Robert. And again, I was thinking Gunter Wagner was Wagner's son. Who invited Wagner? It was a name I didn't recognize. So, Robert, someone named Robert. Yeah, I can't read my own writing. Robert from Hungary. So is that Scraff? Is that you? Aren't you from Hungary? Did we play this game before? So maybe that was you. Years ago. See? You're funny. You've changed your guest list. Okay. Unorthodox. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've got all 6. Oh, thank you, Factor. I mean, that's what I used to learn. That's what I tried to do initially when I was doing calligraphy, was that kind of stuff, because I didn't have flexible nibs when I was a kid. My device is down to 8%, so that means I have to turn it off before it crashes. I'm even connected with the power, but it's still. I use some stub nib on something, I guess. I don't remember. Anyway, see you all later. Bye.